What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, just because San Diego Comic-Con is clearly in our rearview mirror and we're about a month and a half off of D23 doesn't mean that the announcements and reveals from Marvel Studios have stopped coming. It's actually quite the opposite, and it would appear, as this past weekend's Hall H has done, just awoken the sleeping beast. We've been getting official updates now every single day. For instance, you may have heard that Destin Daniel Cretton, the Shang-Chi director, is going to go ahead and man Kang Dynasty. We've also heard updates from around the industry that Marvel Studios does intend on going with two different directors for Avengers 5 and 6. Now, yesterday, you might have started seeing brand new quotes from Kevin Feige all over the place. We're going to talk about where those are coming from, what he specifically said about Marvel Phase 5, Deadpool 3, and of course, the Fantastic Four, a bombshell revelation about ultimately what that film will be in the plot. I'm also going to cover some of the brand new casting reports and rumors about when we can expect to hear the Fantastic Four, cast a little doubt on those, and talk about the timetable for why the Fantastic Four is still over 2 years away when it was originally mentioned all the way back in 2019. We're breaking down all the brand new reveals from the man himself, Kevin Feige, on what's to come from Marvel Studios in Marvel Phase 5 and 6. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That is all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider scoop or editorial like we're covering today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Also, huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, StreetLevelHeroLA.com, and their sister company, That Spider-Man Booth. You can find them on Whatnot. You guys are always asking me about my comic collection, especially on stream. It's the only place I go to for exclusive variants, weekly comics, and amazing giveaways. Again, that's That Spider-Man Booth and StreetLevelHeroLA.com, or find them on Whatnot. Use code EverythingAlways to save 10%. Now, as I mentioned moments ago in the prologue, you probably started seeing all these brand new official Kevin Feige quotes across the industry and social media starting late last night. They all originate with an article from The Hollywood Reporter that had to say this about the Fantastic Four, quote, "Over at Fox, Fantastic Four previously had a pair of Chris Evans starring films in the aughts, as well as a disastrous box office miss in 2015 from director Josh Trank. Feige compared Marvel's new take on the heroes to its pact with Sony to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, noting it will not be another origin story. Quote, "A lot of people know this origin story. A lot of people know the basics. How do we take that and bring something that they haven't seen before?" said Feige, who added that given the super team launched the Marvel Comics universe back in 1961, quote, "We've set a very high bar for ourselves." Now, I actually think you can read in between and all over the lines with this paragraph. There is so much going on, a lot more past just, quote, "It's not your normal origin story." He's saying, hey, listen, we were going to do right by this film, and we're not going to make the mistakes of the films before us. That's why we're pushing it back another 2 years. It's going to take quite a while to find the right director. And this article also went on to confirm they don't have a director yet for this film. There was no one in the waiting behind John Watts. They didn't drop John Watts in favor of someone else like John Krasinski, which was also highly rumored. They're looking for the right director for this film, which means when we get casting reports from Daniel RPK and across the industry in the last couple of days that all seem to corroborate each other for D23, perhaps not getting our hopes up for the casting of the Fantastic Four, unless they need to be in another film coming up here soon. But a lot of these films have already shot. There were original rumors we would meet them in the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I think it's assured at this point that's not the case. And if Marvel Studios hasn't found the right director may be someone who either co-writes and wants to write his own script and or wants a role in casting the actors he's going to be directing and working with, especially for this first film or over the course of the franchise. So getting the director right is extremely important and may be what's holding us up with the actual casting for the team. If you didn't catch the video a couple of days ago, I'll make sure to link it at the end of this, but we also got major news about the X-Men rights and the original contractual obligations of Fox. They had deals with the actors not to recast them until 2025. That is 2.5, almost 3 years away at this point, considering I think we may be waiting on casting announcements for that team for quite some time too. And I know that's not what you guys want to hear. And of course, if it was a character that wasn't used or actor to actor, those contractual rights don't exist. We could start to see them in the MCU. And again, I know this isn't what you want to hear, but I think we may be waiting on these castings for quite some time because, guys, 3 years out is just way too far for anybody to sign that kind of commitment. Things change, people change in the industry. So you add that on top of not having a director yet, when we hear reports about major casting announcements at D23 or otherwise, maybe something like The Thing showing up in She-Hulk, let's all remain super skeptical, knowing there may be some things that still need to happen in pre-production over at Marvel Studios. Now, the next film they talked about during the article was Deadpool 3, and this is what they had to say, quote, "One film not discussed during Hall H's panel was Deadpool 3, which will be the first rated R film in the MCU's history and follows star Ryan Reynolds' previous projects at Fox. Feige noted the studio historically takes big swings with Part 3s. Quote, how do we elevate it in a way we've been able to with Civil War, Infinity War, and Ragnarok? It's very fun to be in the world of the Ryan Reynolds show. The fact that Kevin Feige equated Deadpool 3 with Civil War, that's Captain America's third installment, the Avengers' third installment in Infinity War, and Ragnarok, the third installment for Thor, is ultra ambitious. And I don't think there's a lot of us who thought that Deadpool's movie would be that, quote, integral to whatever was going on in the multiverse saga. But if he looks to sort of equate it with those, especially in the timing it's going to show up in the slate, knowing it's not coming at all next year, means that it's going to have an impact on whatever the story is. And I think Marvel Studios knows that a way to make Deadpool even more successful and make him make more money is that, in spite of the fact that he's going to undercut the seriousness of everything, is that for his film, have the other characters buy into that, right? So you don't necessarily need to use Deadpool in a way in the middle of, say, the third act of Avengers Endgame. In the most crucial moment, have him undercut that, or have him undercut a serious film at all, the way we all sort of anticipate Avengers Secret Wars will be. Yeah, he'll be there, but he won't be an integral part of the storyline, right? But for his film and whatever role he plays in the middle of the multiverse saga, you can use these other characters like a Civil War aspect, or maybe Thor Ragnarok putting together a team, and then have them play in his world the way he does, and it doesn't undercut the entire series. It still gives his film, though, plenty of stakes in him, plenty of stakes in the MCU, which is incredible, and I can't wait. What I think this ultimately speaks to, though, something worth mentioning, is just that we've now reached critical mass of characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe the way we had it in the comics. There are so many names that can possibly show up, characters that will fit, even in a more funny way, characters that won't fit. And this all works because it was the way it was in the comics. There's just so many characters to choose from. What an exciting time to be a Marvel fan, guys. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, what you expect from Deadpool 3, but more importantly, are there any of you out there who think that the Fantastic Four needed another origin story? I think Kevin Feige hit the nail directly on the head when he said we all know the pieces and how this works. And guys, keep in mind, other than maybe seeing these characters showing up in other people's TV shows, we might not find a casting for the team until they find a director, which they may be trying to do before D23, or they may have already done, and everything that they say right now is a misdirect. Hats off to Marvel Studios if they finally started figuring that one out. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We are still giving away PlayStation 5s every 20,000 subscribers all the way up to 1 million. The next milestone is 980, which we are headlong into, could easily hit by month's end or next. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. Also, I am so close to closing in on 1 million subscribers, and my demographics tell me that there's some of you who have watched like 100 videos at this point who haven't hit the sub button. Now, no worries, I figured out I do this too. Apparently there's channels I've been watching for years I'm not subbed to. I think it's just because we see them in our home screen so much, you just don't have to be subbed. But if you want to help me hit 1 million subscribers, that would be really cool of you. And if you've watched like 10 or so videos, support your boy, hit the sub button. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.